Happy Saturday, Sooner Nation. Welcome back to the Sooner Surge as the Sooners have landed defensive line commitment Floyd Boucard, 6'3", 315-pounder out of right now playing in the high school in Miami, but also played in Alabama, originally from Canada. Guys, a composite 3-star that the Sooners added this class. Great help on the defensive line, bringing in size. Before we get started in this video, make sure you check out thefanstop.com and join the Shirt of the Month Club. Use code SURGE for 10% off. Thanks to all those who have subscribed. Guys, great news today.
Yeah, Jeremy, you said it. He's a 3-star prospect, but when you look at his offer list, he's offered by the likes of Georgia and Oklahoma and many other schools. So this is obviously an interior defense lineman that was very highly prioritized by many schools. And actually, Oklahoma was one of the first schools to offer him earlier in his recruitment whenever he had offers from the likes of Louisville and Boston College and other small Power 5 schools. And I also, if I remember correctly, he was offered by Oklahoma before he even had any sort of star rating yet. So this is a Todd Bates evaluation at its finest. Floyd Boucard also won the Under Armour Camp Defensive Line MVP this year as well at a camp. So Floyd Boucard is someone who has really, you've seen his stock rise over the offseason. And he is a player that I think you can expect to continue to rise over the course of the season up until signing day, because he transferred to a school like Miami Central, one of the top schools in Florida, where they're going to play some of the best talent in the state of Florida. And it's super important because being able to land a defensive lineman out of the state of Florida is huge, because that's SEC territory. Brent Venables, Todd Bates going down there, getting a win like that is huge. And I'm not sure if that's something that's going to be talked about a ton, but Brent Venables and Todd Bates were able to get the job done with this one. A super impressive player.
Yeah, 6'3", 315, actually the biggest defensive lineman in this class for Oklahoma. You add them into it on the 247 class calculator. That class of the 5 defensive linemen ranks at a 98.56 between C.J. Nixon, local kid, one of the top edge rushers in the country, one of the top players in the state of Oklahoma, Trent Wilson, another underrated guy, and now he's starting to trend in that upward trajectory of 4-star territory, but has been killing it at camps. And Floyd Boucard, 3-star, top 50 defensive lineman. But Jackson, you mentioned it, his official visit season for him was Miami, USC, OU, Alabama. Alabama got the last visit. OU was still able to get the commitment there. That's a tough deal to do. Again, SEC territory, Miami territory as well. And Canadian grew up playing hockey, so versatile player, very strong when you watch him. And also, if you watch this film, you can see him sometimes slide out to the edge position. He'll line up there, but again, more of a bull rusher. You can tell him he uses his strength at 315 pounds there.
Yeah, you talk about it, Hunter. You said biggest defensive lineman in this class. It's one of the biggest under Brent Venables. I'd have to look, but I'm trying to think of many more that were bigger than 315 there in the middle.
Not at OU.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to go back to his Clemson days. But this is like a prototypical – when Brent Venables came to Oklahoma, when you look at in the middle of the defense, who you were wanting OU to sign, it's players like this, 6'3", 315, that can just plug up the middle. And now, you know, with him putting, like you said, putting him alongside Trenton Wilson and Kamori Moore, I mean, another great back-to-back class now on the defensive line. Yeah, it's not PowerLine. When you talk about the PowerLine, it's not. But in the middle, man, that the 3 they got there in the middle is, I think, highly talented unit. And he's the guy, Hunter, that you mentioned couldn't move out, like can pop outside on plays, but I think that just shows his athleticism at his size, really. He's going to be a middle guy. And here we've all talked all offseason. You've heard all the OU fans talk about, man, how many guys can OU get to 300 pounds? Well, he's 315. He's not there yet. That's huge. That's massive for Oklahoma, and you got to keep building the talent on that defensive line, especially in the interior.
Yeah, and
hey,
going
real quick though, one other thing. I saw a quote from him. One thing he loved about Oklahoma was the way that they were going to use him in their scheme. So I think that's a big deal. And between that and the relationships, I think that's probably kind of what drew him in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I mean, you read things about it. They say he's a perfect 4-3 guy, but Jay, you mentioned the scheme, and Hunter mentioned the ability to move outside some. One thing, obviously, he's a big dude, and he played hockey. I don't need to really talk anymore about it because that just tells you what you need to know. He's way quicker, has better feet uh, than most people would at that size. So I think that's gonna just help him wherever he wants to play on the line. He's not going to be an edge at OU. That's not going to be his position. But the fact that he can plug and move, in my opinion, is his biggest strength.
Yeah. Hunter, Jeremy, and Jay, you guys have said it all. The versatility that Oklahoma is bringing in on this interior defensive line class is huge because you're not just getting a guy in Floyd Boucard who could be 315 and the only thing he can do is stop the run. He's just in there to plug up gaps. He's not going to be effective when it comes to rushing the pass or anything. This is an interior defensive line class and also along the edge and an elite athlete in CJ Nixon as well. This is a defensive line class that has a ton of athletes, a ton of versatility. And year one, as officially an SEC school, being able to sign your first class potentially with one of the better defensive lines in total, again, in the country through all of recruiting is huge. And Brent Venables and Todd Bates and Chavis, they're doing everything that I think we kind of have expected them to do along the defensive line. That's continued to stack players and talent year in and year out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, some people expect Oklahoma to be able to replicate the power line that they did last year with the 5-star headline and David Stone. You also had Jaden Jackson, Danny Okoye, Wyatt Gilmore, Nigel Smith. That was just a fantastic class. But, I mean, yeah, Oklahoma's missed out on a few edge rushers in particular so far that they really would have liked to have gotten. But for this class, again, I think they – Trent Wilson, underrated guy, and he's a 4-star. CJ Nixon, a local kid, high 4-star. And then also Floyd Boucard, middle of the pack in terms of the 5, third highest rated out of the 5 in this 25 class, 315 pounds. We talked about it earlier on the 315 pounds thing. That hasn't happened with an Oklahoma recruit. I mean, Jaden Jackson is now at 300 pounds at OU. When he arrived on campus, that was not the case. He was still a little bit off there. But, I mean, you're looking at by the time he is suiting up, if he is an early enrollee, which most likely would be, you're looking at potentially 330 pounds like DeJoun Terry or Dominic Williams. Like that's huge for a freshman to be able to get to that kind of well over that 300 mark before their first season.
Yeah, and Hunter, I think one thing everybody knows too is that Todd Bates, development-wise, is one of the elite coaches for developing defensive linemen. So you get players that are high quality in there, and his development. I mean, I think sky's the limit, and I think it's huge. You can look at stars all you want, and I think a lot of people do, including me. I look at star ratings, but one thing I look at more than that is who offered him. And Jackson, you mentioned earlier, when you got Alabama offering, he visits there, and it's his last visit, and he still chooses Oklahoma. All I need to know is who offered him, and that tells me how good of a player he is. And he's going to be an elite player, I think, at Oklahoma.
Yep, and the Sooners go into SEC country and get Floyd Boucard. What a great day to be a Sooner as they add to the commitment group of 2025 class. Thanks for watching the videos here at the Sooner Surge. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time.